we know now how to add something to. Now let's have a look at how we can remove something from. So let's say, for example, in my game I have used, in fact I've had my cheese roll. I've sat down and I've eaten my cheese roll, so it needs to be removed from my rucksack. So the way that I'm going to actually remove things or delete things from my rucksack is I'm actually going to type in rucksack, which is my variable again, dot, and then I'm going to type in remove. Okay, so rucksack.remove, and then in brackets with inverted commas as well, I'm going to type in the item that has been removed. So this, in this case, it's going to be, whoops, my cheese roll. All right. So if I then say print rucksack, then we can actually see what is contained within my rucksack. Let's save this for a second. We'll have a look and see what it now says. So the first thing I asked it to do was to print what was in the rucksack. So you can see it says gold coins, rope, cheese roll. It gives me my full list for this first instance here, where I asked it to append it with sword. And in my second one, it now tells me gold coins, rope and sword. The cheese roll has gone. Okay, so in your game, when you get them to make choices, you might say you're feeling really hungry. Do you eat now or do you eat later? For instance, it might say you take a seat. Do you want to drink some water or do you want to eat your cheese roll? And then you give them options, you give them letters. So eat, for example, could be the letter E. Drinking water could be the letter D for drink. Okay, so you can have a little bit of fun with that. Now, let's say that you in your adventure have come across a chest, and in that chest are all sorts of wonderful treasures and things like that. Okay, then what we have to do is, as the person who's creating the game, is we have to first of all declare the chest. So we're going to put in the name of the chest. It might be chest 1 because there might be more than one chest in your adventure. So we're going to say chest 1 equals, and we're going to put in our list. If you remember, a list will always have square brackets, and you're going to use your inverted commas in there for the things that they might find. So we're going to find a ruby. I'm going to make sure that I put in brackets. Let's say they find an emerald. Again, making sure I put my commas in between my items. And they might find a very exciting wand of doom. Could be a wand of joy if you wish. Okay, so those three things there. So my intrepid adventurer has found these three things, and I'm now going to give them the choice that they can take all of the items in the chest or they can leave them. Now, if I said to them that they could take them all, I'd need to add that to my rucksack. Now, I don't want to have to add them one by one by one. So here's a different way that you can actually combine the two lists together in one easy move. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be typing in here rucksack equals rucksack plus chest 1. All right. So we need to give this a new name though, because rucksack is a variable that already has a list in it. It already says this is what rucksack is, and this is what chest 1 is. So I can't then all of a sudden change rucksack or add all of these things into rucksack just by adding chest 1. So I'm going to give it a different name, a different variable name. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be calling it player rucksack. All right. So we're given that a new variable name. So now it says player rucksack equals rucksack plus chest 1. So if I wanted to check that out, I could say print player rucksack, and then I can check what is actually inside that rucksack. So let me save it, let me test it, let's make sure that we've got what we need. Okay, so this first one here is where I'm saying print rucksack. The second one is where I'm saying print rucksack after having removed a cheese roll. And the third time I've asked it to print player rucksack, and you'll see gold coins, rope, sword, ruby, emerald and wand of doom. That's because we removed the cheese roll having hadn't eaten it already, so that's already gone. Okay, so that's how you're going to continue through your game. All right, so player rucksack. If you only want to add one item at a time, then you can just use the append. If you want to add lots of items, then you might want to consider calling it player rucksack 2, player rucksack 3, etc. Have a go at that. I'd like you now to start developing your game so that you can actually start to have some options. Have at least 3 challenges or 3 choices that the player has to make. And in our next video, we'll be having a look at how you can actually begin to end this adventure.